It's all good.
It's all good. Happy almost Valentine's Day, everyone.
Almost Friday the 13th day, everyone. Galentine's Day. Anybody have plans for Galentine's Day?
We do. Galentine's Day is Friday the 13th.
It is the day before. If you are a Leslie Knope fan from Parks and Rec.
Well, I just started watching that.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I've never really watched it.
It is a good show.
I haven't.
Like many, slow start.
Yeah.
But once you get into it, the characters and
like
the writing, it's freaking hilarious.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. So Galentine's, we're going to, have a movie night or whatever at my house because we got these movie theater seats in our basement.
With a big TV.
Kind of fun. But now that it's Friday the 13th, we should have a Friday the 13th.
No, Lisa, we are not having it. No, Joellen would not. It is going to be an 80s movie theme. So we're trying to think of a bunch of 80s movies. Yeah,
so
true 80s movies. So if you have some suggestions for us, throw them our way.
For our Galentine's
and we're going to land somewhere.
Yeah, we will.
Probably won't be in a scary movie. We can save that for another time. I'm not a scary movie girl.
I am, but
Night
when
terrors,
I'm at home. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Okay. Never been my genre.
Hey, talk about terror.
We don't have time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Which one?
No, I was just going to say.
What we were just talking about?
Yeah, behaviors.
Oh.
Behaviors. Terrorizing behaviors.
Yeah. So there, as we mentioned, are quite a few different levels of behaviors, and there are different reasons for behaviors. And here's the thing. We typically have a very good understanding where these behaviors are coming from. Not always, but typically. Mm-hmm. Sometimes takes a little while to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Usually do. That part's not the issue as much as, and this isn't even, there are students who come to us who may have a diagnosis or they may have something where we know some level of behavior comes with, and there's usually a plan in place for that, right? You expect it, you know it, you learn how to work around it, you learn how to support it. Mm-hmm. That's one thing, but not so much in the elementary, a little bit in the elementary. I'm guessing more middle school and high school. I think what's happening also is a lot of the behaviors, and they're not related to anything that we can identify, but are just coming from some really aggressive, I don't want to say students because kids aren't necessarily aggressive, but it's their behavior that's aggressive.
Well, they're acting out based on something.
Right.
Something, whatever that trigger
that's
is.
A little more difficult to identify.
Right. And maybe it's a trauma. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's something that's deep-seated that we have no idea about. Or
could be environmental.
It could be, right.
All sorts of things.
Yeah.
But lots of things. I think along with some of those low-level behaviors, these behaviors that have become far more aggressive, where, schools sometimes are having to call the local authorities in, which is never a good thing. Mm-hmm. There's lots of reasoning behind that, and there's lots of thought behind that I'm going to try not to dive into because I'd like to be a little more well-versed in that before I do. Mm-hmm. But it's not okay. And you have to ask yourself what's happening. And we're talking fighting amongst peers or physically aggressive towards staff.
Right, I was just going to say, right, to
not
teachers
just each other or throwing tables, throwing chairs. Right. And staff are getting hurt. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of frustration because nothing's happening. It needs to be addressed, but it's not being addressed. And I'm not going to say that's everywhere. Right. Because I can't speak for every district. Right. I can't speak for every school. Right. But I think a frustration that a lot of teachers are feeling right now is nothing is being done. Nothing that is curbing the behavior, addressing the behavior, or helping them feel safe in the classroom, or helping them feel like they have a way to address that behavior, or have a way to say, hey, need some help here, right? And this has to be, addressed immediately.
I have a situation, and it was kind of eye-opening to me. I was telling Joellen this kind of when it happened, but there was a teacher that was just having a conversation with a student who had and has an IEP, but in my opinion, doesn't like he knew full well what he was doing. Like he had a water bottle and he kept throwing water in the teacher's face while another special ed teacher was there in the conversation with this teacher that this kid had a problem with. And no one did anything about that unless said teacher wanted to press charges. At the high school, that is kind of a thing that, well, I don't know, maybe at the elementary too, you can fall back on that. But I feel like, does a teacher have to go to the length of pressing charges against a kid because they were harmed in said behavior, whether it was I know that I've talked to, I have a teacher friend in Chicago area, and she talks about how she gets in the middle of fights, and sometimes kids throw punches and it lands her in the jaw or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, what?
Yeah.
But that happens. And so like, what are we doing about that as a school? What do we do about that?
And how do we address it?
How do we address it?
I think we know, one, it's a staffing issue.
Yeah.
Two, it's a training issue.
Yeah, training issue.
These level of behaviors you are nowhere near prepared for. And even, I will speak to the elementary and early childhood level, we have had some students with behaviors that were so severe that it took an entire team of us to work through those behaviors on any given day. And I was fortunate to have a team I could work with. However, when this student would explode, it was completely disruptive, and it pulled everybody away from the job that they were supposed to be doing for one student, which that student is important. And I've written about this student. And it's hard because you know what you're doing is good when you're working together in that way as a team, but you also know that you're pulling people away from the classroom where they need to be as well, right? And it can sometimes feel like we're never going to address this behavior. And for this little guy, we know that one of the main reasons we were experiencing some of these behaviors is, unfortunately, as a young student, he was removed or kicked out of from several preschools and daycares. So when you feel like you're not a part of a community, or at any moment, these people who say, you're welcome here, we want you here, you're a student, we care for you, not going to happen. You're just going to kick me out. It's going to happen eventually. So I might as well. Exactly. And though such a challenging thing to address, right? Because sometimes we do know what we need to do, but we don't have the ability to do it.
Yeah.
We
the resources
don't.
Or the staff.
And the specialists that need to come in and help address those behaviors. Yeah. But when you were looking at reasons why teachers are leaving the profession.
Yeah, I was telling Joanne, and I had just mentioned this to another teacher friend who posted something about teachers leaving and behavior's terrible. And I'm like, oh my God, you got to watch our two tipsy teachers, because we're addressing this right now. But it's the number 2 reason why teachers are leaving. Number 2. Number 1 is not enough pay because of all the things that are put on our plate, and we just don't have time to do all the things. And that's the number 1 thing. And number 2 is because of those severe behaviors. And there's no accountability for that. And there's no repercussion for that. It's just kind of, you have to sit and take it. Pretty much.
And I think too, we also know is that we're not addressing it as a society.
No,
we're not addressing the triggers and the things that are causing the trauma, that are causing these students to come to us so dysregulated, so angry, so disruptive, so not trusting, so not able to build that relationship.
Right.
And please stop telling teachers that all you need to do is work harder at building your relationships with students. It's what we fucking do all the time.
Yeah, right.
Right? It is not.
It's not about that.
Simple. It is not that simple. Absolutely not. And it's a slap in the face. Another.
Right. Yeah. If you knew excuse for sure. If you knew your kids better, then you could be able to handle it. Or
all about those relationships.
Yeah, we do that. We do that. We can't know all the things.
Other thoughts too. I mean, because this is a big one.
It is
something that it needs to be addressed. I don't think we all agree on how it should be addressed, but I think we do agree that there's not enough effort put towards preventative, right? And then here we are. And then what happens after high school?
Right.
It's that pipeline.
It is. Well,
Mhm.
that is the thing, right? So everything we do at the high school is to make sure that they're okay when they enter society, whatever that means. So, whatever we do as a consequence or a training to kind of to understand the counseling that goes along with it, it's just a snippet. And can they carry through? Are they going to get that in the workplace? Probably not. They throw something or hit someone on the job, they're out, right? They're fired. So
and they will call the cops.
Yeah, for sure. So
the authorities.
there has to be a path for all people involved, because if it really is something that is a trigger that stems from some trauma or something that's deep-seated, clearly that person needs some counseling and all of that. But we don't know all of the things. We just don't.
And even when we do have a deep understanding, unless we have the team available to support that and the skills to support that, doesn't matter how much I understand.
Right.
Yeah.
And
it's exhausting.
It
is exhausting, physically and mentally exhausting.
Right. And I was just going to say, and if you have a kid that goes from school to school to school, or even just, class to class to class, or whatever it happens to be, just different people in different settings. Oh, it's tiring. And it's, obviously parents of those children are feeling it as well. So it's just one of those things where we need help. We need help. It's a systemic problem. It's a societal problem. Family
needs to be addressed.
Okay.
Needs to be addressed. So I think that might wrap up, not completely, because behaviors are always going to be out there. But I think we've kind of covered the different levels of behavior, the impacts of behavior, maybe some things we can do to address the behavior. One, talking about it and changing the narrative, allowing teachers to have those safe conversations, right? Because a lot of times you're guarding what you say, because it can be interpreted as you're not doing your job well enough, or that
you
you're
can't
not
handle
caring
it
enough, or you can't handle it.
Right.
When that is absolutely not it. No, it's not. You wouldn't be expected, like you said, in the workplace, nobody would be expected to handle that and just be okay with it. And it's not okay. And we're not helping anyone.
We're not helping anyone.
We're not. And on that note, with the Valentine's Day coming up, the love.
Yes, we're having the love.
Shout out to some 80s movies. What are some of your favorites? 80s only. Stick with the 80s.
Yep. All right. So we are the
two tipsy teachers.
See you later.